Coverage of the NFL brings us to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. This crowd loves their orange and black. The scene just a short time ago, they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football as the Bengals get set to do battle with the Carolina Panthers. 3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Well, this defense for the Panthers, they were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there, and they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. A handoff to Mixon. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. So, Charles, you talk about this head coach and his future with this franchise. Look, it's been a frustrating year, and I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier in the week.
Yeah, he's trying to say all the right things, isn't he? But he's heard the rumors. He knows what's going on out there. And right now, he is tired of having to answer the question, are you on the hot seat in every meeting with reporters? This week, he kind of said, I've had enough. And I don't blame him. He looks like a guy that may very well be out the door.
And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. Relatively small sample size, but that's his longest run of the first quarter. Bounced it out to the outside to make it successful.
And to get there, you actually need some help. It's not just your pure speed getting to the corner, making sure that the blocking is taken care of inside so the pursuit doesn't get you. And oftentimes, those wide receivers, tight ends that might be flexed out, they've got to control the edge and make sure no one from the outside can spill the play before he gets there.
43 is the mic. Check.
Mixon with a first down carry. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
Four yards remain for 2nd down. Here's Tannehill. And that one complete to Keene, the tight end. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
That's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down. Play action. It's Tannehill. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by J.C. Horn. And the Panthers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. They may have thrown the interception, obviously less than ideal, but I think they also sent a message that they're going to push the ball downfield in this one.
Yeah, not afraid to take their shots right away, huh? What was that, like a 9-9-9 route? 9 meaning go? Just went ahead and went for it. Didn't work out so well because it certainly appeared the defense was prepared. But I'm with you. Okay, so it didn't work this time. Doesn't mean we won't try it again later.
Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Yeah, and he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. On play action, here's Tua. He's going to loft one deep left side here. This is caught inside the 15. And they're going to have this way down in Cincinnati territory. A big play there for Carolina. 1st and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. It'll be a pickup of 8 and a good first step there with 2nd and goal coming up. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
On the ground, McCaffrey. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked out before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. Tua with a quick throw, caught out wide. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. Badgley's kick is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away. But they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Now Joe Mixon. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 60 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
On first down, it's Tannehill. A throw right side caught by Keene. 3 yards the gain there, second down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. Second and 6. No, scratch that. Second and 7. Now Tannehill. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Now Tannehill. Escaping the pressure right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a first down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big time play.
On first down, Mixon. He's able to get 6. A nice pickup down to the 21.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Back to Mixon on second down. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Check 59. Mike is 59. Mike to 59. Go, go, go. Lock, lock. 59, Mark.
From the red zone now, Tannehill. Forced out to his left. That one's complete to Tomlinson. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 8 there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
Ball on the 8, 2nd and 2. Here's a give to Mixon. And he'll take this into the end zone for Bengal TD. Joe Mixon with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bengals have taken the lead. That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of a season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And they are back to 500 now. The win last week, their 3rd in a row. And the question is this run coming too late to make a difference in the playoff race?
Great question. They definitely still have some work to do, but I think a lot of folks were writing this team off about 3 weeks ago, even some of their own fans. So I suggest you put some extra shocks on the old bandwagon because this team has rebounded.
From the 27, Tua.
And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Tua sets up to pass it. Flush to his right. The decision to tuck and run gets him 40, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
Back to Mixon on second down.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. On 3rd down, Mixon. Mixon with a first down and more. And all the way down to the 33-yard line.
109 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now it's Mixon running right. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Five yards remain on second down.
They'll try the air now with Tannehill.
That's to Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Ja'Marr Chase.
His second touchdown on the season. And the Bengals are able to grow their lead.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And that pushes the lead up to 11.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. So that challenge, a successful one.
Throwing again on second down.
Tua
gets this to his running back. It's Christian McCaffrey. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49.
If your sympathies lie with the defense, you understand how tough it is for linebackers to run with a guy like this. He's going to slip out of the backfield and then work in the middle of the field. And sometimes those defenders get preoccupied with other people moving, and he finds open.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers.
Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years with the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears were realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
And the final number on Next Gen Stats, how about this? 71 yards through the air.
Michael Badgley on for the extra point. And he's got it. That cuts the lead. It's now 14-10.
Next to score, Bengals 14, Panthers 10.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Take it in at the 3.
And able to take it past the 20 a little bit, but no further. A flag in there as well. Let's see what this is.
So the hand got inside the face mask that time. Looked like a pretty easy call.
And it was, and we saw this in their loss last week. Penalties at inopportune times that led to their demise.
So now factoring in the face mask, here's 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. Oh, he's hit. He lost the football. Put it on the carpet. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
A disappointing end of the sequence there. He was starting to turn nothing into something, and then he lost the football.
And sometimes things get lost in the transition. And what I mean by that is you go from being a passer to a runner. And at a certain point, once you cross the line of scrimmage, you're strictly a runner now. There's no more downfield threat. Make sure you take care of the football while you're traversing downfield.
And they move this all the way down to the 9. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. McCaffrey on the counter. And he's going to ball his way in for a Panther score.
Christian McCaffrey.
Touchdown number 15 on the year.
And the Panthers on just 2 plays have taken the lead.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it's now 17-14. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Take it in at the 3. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
And we'll see how they want to play this. Just a little over 20 seconds to go.
They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. They'll run on first down. Mixon. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. So we come upon halftime intermission here with the visiting Panthers taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point.
The Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway.
This is Tony Pollard. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive.
Hey, Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Carolina.
Christian McCaffrey.
77 yards.
And the Panthers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And his guys will take a 10-point lead.
Makes the score Panthers 24, Bengals 14.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going.
And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And for a second straight play, just nowhere to go thanks to this Carolina defense.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Tannehill. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. T.J. Watt able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And taken at the 46. So holding there on the return, and that'll back them up to start the next drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy call right there, partner. I think when the officials look in their manual and see the expression jersey getting pulled, that's a flag coming out every time.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Absolutely no disguise on that one. They just went for it. Put him out there and said, go deep. Let's try and hit him. Unfortunately, to no avail.
On is the punter Charlton now as he's able to get this one away.
And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. You're down on the scoreboard, and this is not what you want to see. 99 yards of field in front of you.
Yeah, and it just shows how important a good punter can be and how that person can really help out a team. Guarantee you his agent can be taking that video clip in on the next contract negotiation, don't you think?
183 yards rushing for him so far in this one as he nears 1,400 for the year.
So forget about being backed up. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way across midfield. Now Mixon. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2.
Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant. Check 59. Mike is 59. Mike to 59. Hey, we got to get this stop here, D.
Mixon will try the right side. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's been an excellent day for him running the football, no doubt, as he continues to soar well past 100 yards.
Yeah, it almost feels like he can just grab his briefcase and head home after putting in a full day's work at the office, doesn't it?
They can't hang with us. Mike's 5'9". Mike 5'9". Go. Mike's 59.
On 1st down, Mixon. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Check 26, check 26.
A draw play for Mixon. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They give those 2 yards right back, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Here's Tannehill. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run with Mixon. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
2nd and 10.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. 43 is the mic, boy. 43. Check, 43.
Again, it's Mixon. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
A loss of 1 brings up 3rd down and 11.
Play. 4 down. Check. Mike's 43. Mike's 43. Here we go. 43 is the mic. 43 is the mic.
Now it's Tannehill. Eluding the pressure right. That is caught at the 7-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. McPherson's kick is good. And this is back down to a 7-point game. Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Their lead back down to 1 score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 114 yards rushing for him here as he starts to close in now on 1,200 yards for the season. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Room here to run. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
I can't help but laugh. And the only reason is anytime the backup breaks a big one like that, he's going to be hard to deal with in film, wanting to know why he's not getting starters carries.
That's what he's thinking. Great carry there. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now they'll throw with Tagovailoa. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 27-yard line.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the fourth quarter.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
They'll run with McCaffrey. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
This is McCaffrey on the give. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. Trying to run for it with Pollard, and they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
So that, CD, an important one here in the 4th quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On the run, it's Mixon. And he's got a Bengals first down. His good running gets him to about the 44. It's been a remarkable day at the office for him running the football. Those yards just continue to pile well past 100.
And how about more than double-digit carries in the second half alone? That's what you want as a runner because you've got to prove to your offensive line that you're going to be as tough as they are. They don't rotate in and out on every play. Running backs often do, so those who can stay out there with their offensive linemen, those are the guys they really value.
So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Under 10. Hey. 10. Check 13. Check 13.
Throwing Tannehill. Dumps it off to Mixon. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, That's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a first down.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Here's Tannehill. And that'll be caught by the tight end, Keene. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 24-yard line. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game. Whether it's a touchdown or a field goal, whatever it is, they need to score quickly here on first down. Now Tannehill. Open man is Chase, complete. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Tannehill. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. It's Mixon on the counter. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 9 yards on the carry, but it's going to lead to a 4th down.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Desperation time for Tannehill on 4th down. And Tannehill's got the first as he slides to a halt. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. Tannehill to throw. And this is caught. So it's a late touchdown, but maybe too late. Still a little time left on the clock, however. Coming from where they were, they knew this was going to be tough, but they got the touchdown. Now they need the miracle, the onside kick and a little extra.
Yeah, and you have to get the onside kick and not have the ball bounce around a lot and eat up time. You want to be able to grab it, possess it, and get your offense out there for what you just termed a miracle last chance.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Down to an E goes Tua, and that should just about do it. So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And I tell you, this was a fun one. Just a close game. Nothing comes easy in this league, as you know. They had to work for that victory.
I've got to go back to what you just said. Nothing comes easy in this league. How many times have we talked to coaches prior to a game and assessed, you know, the strengths, the weaknesses, the whole deal? Even in games when one coach was a decided favorite, what do they always say to us? But you do know this is really a 7-point league. 7 points either way usually decides a ball game. We had exactly that in this one.
And not only that, but this is a gutsy road victory, one they can hang their hat on. So for the Panthers, they move back over 500 at 7-6. And they'll return home next week to take on the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they're squarely in play for next year mode now as they drop to 2-11. And they'll try to make amends next week as they host the Cleveland Browns.